Good morning, everyone. This is Iron Will Becker, and I want to thank you again for joining me. And I have another book for you review for you guys this week. The book that I finished most recently is Just Keep Breathing by Jimmy Bluff. And Jimmy is a healer and a bodybuilder, and he has worked with a tremendous amount, a tremendous amount of people, and helping them to heal from their pain, which is his mission and focus in life. And the little takeaway I want to open with is one of my entrepreneurial heroes, Gary Vaynerchuk, made me see how lucky we are when he said to be alive today is like hitting the lottery. The odds of being a human in today's world is something like 400 to 1. So be grateful to be alive. And I've heard Gary express this in some of his podcasts and his videos, and it's so true. We need to have a greater gratitude for being alive and for having the blessings and the joy that we enjoy. All right, the next takeaway is lessons are a gift from God. God means love, and love is positive, unconditional energy. And whether you're a Christian or a Hindu or whatever, to this, I believe, resonates universally with most people, that there is some kind of a higher being that loves and cares for us. And that love is positive, unconditional energy. And we can have that energy. We can share that with those around us, our family members, and our friends. In more on Bruce. Next is thought is powerful. Thought is alive. Thoughts are like seeds that you plant in your mind. And whatever thoughts you put your attention to are the ones that will grow. And this ties back to the book, The Secret. This ties back to Think and Grow Rich. The power of positive thinking. A whole lot of mentors have talked about this. Grant Cardone talks about it in his own story, how as he came out of addiction recovery, he started focusing on the future and writing out his goals every day of the things that he wanted to do. All right. The next takeaway deals with belief, which follows on with positive thinking. In order to attain anything in this world, you have to believe it can be yours. You have to believe it's already yours. You have to believe, period. Again, and again, from so many people, we hear, and we are continually reminded to envision it, to create it in your mind, to see it, and then work to make it reality. Now, this other one comes out of his thoughts on being a warrior, and I've got to be honest with you. I agree with what he has to say. He says that forgiveness is a sign of strength too. Only then can the healing take place. And that comes on both parts. The person forgiving and the person being forgiven. It takes a strong individual to have the courage to forgive someone, even if the other person is not willing to perform the other half to forgive you. You can still forgive them. All right. The next takeaway goes along with Gandhi's "Be the change you wish to see in the world." He says, "This is how the warrior combats the darkness, by being the light in the world that others can steer their ships by. Be that light." John Addison of Success Magazine and the book Real Leadership, talks about being a lighthouse. And this is something that really resonates with me personally, because growing up, that's one of the concepts my parents taught me. It wasn't in the same words, but I understood the concept that we can be a light, that we can make a difference in the lives of other people. Good morning, Negros. Welcome. Another thing that resonates with me out of his book is that honor never dies. It lives on in the people around you. And this is so true. When we leave a legacy of integrity, of honor, of positive character, it has an influence. And our family members know it. And they live it in their own way. Jimmy talks about how he was named after a war buddy of his father's, and I'm thinking Korean War, but I could be wrong. And he started going by Jimmy instead of James because it reminded him of his dad's war buddy. So integrity is one of the most valuable currencies on this planet. It becomes more valuable as time goes on. Gary Vaynerchuk has nailed on this. So has Grant Cardone. Jim Rohn, John Maxwell, they all talk about authenticity and integrity. And these, while they're a little bit different, they're in the same vein. They're together still. Going on. There are people in this world who are heroes worth looking up to, worth emulating, worth studying in order to inspire you. Boy, I'm really yawning today. My apologies. This is something, again, that I was taught as a young man, as a teenager, really. And that is to look for the good in others. Find those qualities you want to emulate, and then emulate them. All right. He goes on to express a couple different thoughts here. My apologies. The first one, expectation without communication causes frustration. I love the rhyming here, and the truth of it resonates with me. Alex Charfen talks about this all the time in his Momentum podcast for the entrepreneurial personality type. Look it up. It's great. Hit my website if you want to just find the link. Go to the self-education page. He goes on to say that listen well, but listen with compassion. That's the key to being a great communicator. This is also covered by Dr. Covey, by Dr. Stephen R. Covey. He hits on that too. To listen first to understand, then to be understood. His next thought is on karma. He says, people kick around the word karma, but what is it really? It's the spiritual principle of cause and effect. Every action, every thought we have has influence on the world around us. As Newton's law states, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. This isn't just a law for the physical world, it applies to the spiritual world as well. I've talked about this before on my videos, and in short, this is a universal truth. It is. Whatever you put out comes back. This also rolls into the law of attraction, which is this: you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. The type of person you are, the person that you're trying to become, all of that rolls into what happens and what comes back to you. Dreams can be enormous or very simple. The important part is to have the courage and determination to pursue your dreams. This is huge, huge. If you really want to get into it and understand it, go get Grant Cardone's Be Obsessed or Be Average. he really lays it out in there, the importance of having big dreams. Okay? Life is what happens while you're making other plans. This is a John Lennon quote that he uses here, that Jimmy uses here in his book. And it really lays out the truth that life happens. You have to learn to roll with the punches. You have to learn to adapt to what happens. Adjust and change your plans. If you follow Mike Fallett from Dream Starters University and Morning Legina, and started from zero, his new video series he's doing, new podcast series he's doing, really hits on that. You've got to be able to roll with the punches. If you want respect, be in the moment when you are talking to someone, no matter who they are. This is something I'm so thankful that my father taught me. To be in the moment, to listen, to give the individual your attention. You were there. My wife last night, she came to talk to me. I was working on stuff. I turned off what I was listening to. I turned to face her, and she was like, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm like, you didn't interrupt me. I'm giving you my attention. You know, I don't know, for those of you that are married and have children, whether you always feel like you have the time to have a conversation, to carry on business, if you will, a family business with your wife. And I like to give my wife my full attention when she's talking to me. I'm not perfect at it, but I still do my best. So, the next section I took out of this is, opportunities can only be realized when your eyes are open and your heart is open. Kenita, welcome aboard. Thanks for joining us. And I've got to tell you that I believe this 100%. That when your eyes are open, your heart is open, the opportunities that come, the things that you see will prepare you. A great takeaway from this is Steve Jobs. If you go back to his life, he decided to not finish college, but before he did, he took a couple classes that he was interested in. The story he tells is about taking, I think it was a calligraphy class. And because of that calligraphy class, it had an impact on the development of Mac OS, Next OS, and the applications that he was doing. The fonts and the spacing of lettering in that. And he attributes that sensitivity to those experiences. Good morning, Loretta. Now, he goes on to say also, follow the signs, because they are there for a reason. I have had personal experiences where I have been given clear direction on things. It hasn't been a sign like, hey, Will, do this. But because I was paying attention, because I was aware, it was pointing me in the right direction. So, I recently posted on my social... Morning, Jason. I recently posted on my social media feeds a quote by Ren. I don't remember the first name. And it's, ability is the poor man's wealth. And that's so true. Your ability to work, your ability to do whatever becomes part of your personal wealth. And he says, it's not a lack of resources, it's a lack of your resourcefulness that stops you. And that's a quote he's taken from Tony Robbins. It is true. Your resourcefulness is essential. He goes on to say that don't wait for resources to come to you. Don't sit on the porch looking at your empty field. Make dreams out of dirt. Make them grow with hard work, dedication, faith, and joy. Be resourceful. Yes, that's resource-full. So, he goes on to say that you deserve happiness and the world deserves your talents and heart. Believe it. I can't tell you how many times I have heard this from my coach and from a good friend of mine, how he has continued to emphasize those things. All right. The last point that I want to share from Jimmy's book is wars would stop, crime would end, and people would understand one another if they choose love. We are all the same. We need love, and we respond when we are shown love. Now, not only is that true, because we are love-based beings, we are mortals, we have a great power within us to do and accept good things. We also have the ability to share that love and to power other people with our belief and faith in them. One of the things that I struggle with and I continue to work on is showing love to my children and encouraging them and building them up. It's not because I don't love them, it's because I'm a dad. And my focus is to teach them to do things right, to learn how to work and to learn how to put in their best effort. And my wife continues to coach me on being better at expressing love to my children. And I'm grateful for that. All right, my friends, if you get value from this video, please like and share it. Definitely go out and get Jimmy's book, Jimmy Bluff. Just Keep Breathing. Brilliant book. Love it. If you would like to find other reading recommendations, please go to bit.ly/ironwill, that's with one L, book list. On that page, you will find a book list as well as podcast and YouTube links. I also recommend people not only read serious books, business, biography, self-help, personal development, but also novels. And there's another link there off that page just for that purpose, to take you to another book list for more fun or creative reading. My friends, also on my website, you can find my other social media links, so you can reach out to me through Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, if you're seeing this on YouTube, my YouTube channel, and also Google+. My friends, go out and make it a great day, and I will talk to you again soon. Thank you very much for watching me.